Guys, and welcome to another Groove Funnels training program. This one is for my dear friend, 2-time Olympian Tasha Danvers, who's got a client who she is trying to work with. So easier to just do a video and show you some of the things. So we're looking at your first question was, how do we make URLs with drop downs? What I mean by that is, so for example, this is a Miles Better page. So we want to give it the second page. So in this case, the title page is Digital Liftoff. So this is using the URL digital-liftoff.com. We can see that by coming over here and checking the publish. We're using milesbetterdigital.com, and you want to have a /. So that is done on the pages section. So we come over to pages. We do edit pages, we do edit sections, and this here, the page URL, is the name of the page. So in this case, my second page is going to be called Rocket. I understand you would like alisonsalmon.com/foods sensitivity, well, you would write food sensitivity here. That then answers that question. You make sure that we tick. And as with always with Groove pages, everything that we do, we should save after each methodology. That way, there is at least a copy somewhere. Second page, where does the PDF download live? Well, if you want to link a button to a download of a PDF, you need to use a hosting service. Dropbox is by far the best. It is really simple. Simply open a basic account, go to Dropbox/basic. Don't need to sign up for the free trial business 30-day program. The 2 gigabytes is more than sufficient. So in this case, you would configure your button. You'll move over to your button and go configure. Here, you can then choose where you want to take it. In this case, I'd like to take it to another page, but let us make an additional button. We can go up here and we can go copy. Therefore, we have a second button. Let's configure this button to do a download. All right, so in this case, I'm going to go here. I'm going to change the text to grab your free ebook today. All right, now where do we want to link it? We don't want to link it to a page because it needs to be hosted off-site. So we link it to a URL. Then we simply add in the details. Now, on another screen, I'm going to open up and see if I can drag it across. Well, probably not allow. So you would go to your Dropbox folder, and within inside Dropbox, you will choose the file that you would want. And in that point of view, when you open up the link, it will ask you to copy Dropbox link. This is within inside the Dropbox program. And again, once you've copied that, you can see it's just popped up. I've copied my digital marketing program. You will then literally here, place it, paste. Remember to open in a new tab, reset it. That allows this to clear down. Come across here. There's one of the little nuances of Groove pages. Use the delete button just to go back a little bit, and then we can update. Okay, we're going to save that. Now, that button is a little bit close to this button, so we're going to put a bit of design in it. We're going to go to spacing, and you can see here this allows us to move the spacing around. We're going to move over the right-hand side, and we're going to place some additional space within inside the button. All right, so that's good. That answers that question. So PDFs are downloadable from Dropbox. That's by far the easiest method. I was listening to Russell Branson from ClickFunnels. That is exactly what they do in ClickFunnels as well. They use Dropbox to download the hosting. Next one, how do I connect the button to my MailChimp? We'll come back to that. How can I make the button trigger the download? Well, the simplest way is to connect it to a button. If you want to do what I would suggest she does is that when we look at the MailChimp, we'll set up a landing redirect page, which will send her to a thank you page. It's always great to create a simple thank you page. Use a video that basically says, thank you for signing up. We're really excited to work with you. And just click the button below to get your instant access to your download. It's just a little bit more professional, perhaps a little bit more friendly, because you're then thanking them, because I don't know what her front page is looking like, because when I tried to load it, it wasn't working. So we'll come back to the MailChimp because that's a little bit different. She's then asking about how can you change the colors? Well, in this case, if we're looking at the button, we go to the button, we're going to do a background on the button, and then we have the color picker here. You can drop down here and use the standard colors that they have. but I'm using a particular Pantone color. And if I want to change that, I just go to this button here, and now you can drag and drop, move it around. Or if you know the Pantone color, because you're using one of their templates, you like a color, all you simply do is just have a look at the button, see what color it is. Let's say I want this purple one here. I can come over here and look at this purple, look at whether it's a background. No, it's a text color. No, not sure where it's coming from. That's probably picking up from the fact it is an image. It is that's been drawn in. So again, if you're looking for colors, this one here, example, this is a slightly grayer color. You can see here it's got a particular Pantone. Again, just use that button there, find the Pantone. If you change the Pantone, you just need to click the yes button and save. So that's how you change the color on the back of a button or on a font. If you like a particular font that you've used, this is matching the gray to the green. Well, guess what? You go find something that they've already used and then just pick up the thing. Here's an example here. I liked that green. I wanted the whole website to be the same. So I went here, looked at the background, found the color, realized it was a Pantone, picked up the Pantone, picked up the color, exactly matches. So let's do that for you just as an example, and we can then think, let's say we want to change this to here to green. So first we need to check what the Pantone is. Pantone there. Sorry, go there. Let's highlight the Pantone. That's the Pantone we like. We're going to copy the Pantone. We're going to come over here to where we want to change it again. Don't want it white. Want it a Pantone. I'm going to drop down here. And we're going to thing, paste, boom, tick, Pantone. Okay, and then we'd do save. Well, I don't want that as a Pantone because I want white, so we're going to go save. So that answers the next question. So that answers the how to change the color. How do I get the hero image to fit the container on the homepage? Well, depends on what your homepage looks like and what your hero looks like. So that's a little bit difficult, but again, here it is often driven off the size of the image and the size of the container. So again, configuring here, this is using a fairly small image. So if you wanted a larger image, you'd have to go off, choose perhaps a slightly larger image that we've got. I'm trying to think of one that's perhaps a little bit bigger. Let's see what this one looks like. Most of mine are all fairly standard because I like the standard size. Let's see what that one looks like. Okay, so again, that's a little bit bigger. You can move the dimensions around. Let's see if we select that. And then we have to update the image. Okay, it's fitting inside my container, so that's pretty good. Don't want to do that, so we're going to undo that, etc. Sizing of the image really comes from sizing here. I'm playing around with these numbers inside here. I do find that the image does take a little bit of playing. It is often driven by the size of the image. I would suggest if she needs to launch by tomorrow that she just accepts the sizing as it comes out. You can add in bigger elements over here. It really does depend on the columns that she's used. If she, for example, had brought this container in, which is probably a much bigger container, yeah, it's a much bigger container. That's going to allow me to put a bigger picture inside there. So let's, again, come over here, elements. Let's see what that does. We're going to scroll down. We're going to grab an image, stick it inside the container, and let's see what happens when we configure that. Choose an image. We'll go for one of the bigger images that I had, which I know is one of those. Slightly larger, select, update, and that's found a much bigger image. You see, much bigger image because it's a much bigger container. So it is really driven off the containers that come off of here from your elements. Big picture, small pictures. You can have one here that's a card. So again, it's a case of playing with these containers to find out something that works for her. The card one is pretty good. And again, it's about using the different images and the different options. But also it is driven by the size of her photo that she is importing. So I hope that answers that question. It is a little bit like all technology, playing around. If you bring in large images and you put them in a small hole, guess what? It's going to resize it small because that's what it thinks you want to do. All right. This was using a large container for the video because I wanted to fill the whole screen. So hero containers, we've sort of worked that. Why doesn't my URL appear on some devices and not others? I don't know about that. That's when we launch this, let's publish this. You can check to see, remember, when she's looking at it, it's worth having a look across the top here. see what it looks like on each of the various platforms. This is on a phone. These buttons are a little bit big when they're on a phone, so you might want to edit those down. You do that by just coming over here and playing with inside the text button. So again, we're pretty small on that one already. We might try something else to see if we can play around with it a little bit, change the font up a bit. That might help. Robo's a bit smaller, etc. We're just asking quite a lot of word with inside a button. So again, online, that's going to make a bit of a difference, etc. Cramming a lot into this page. But it works pretty well as you scroll down looking here. Now I might come in and go, okay, that's a little bit close. So let's put some padding in there. Let's just drop that down. This is where you start really getting a little bit more professional. Let's drop the bottom padding up a little bit. I'm going quite quickly, but you can see it's all done by the sizing, the padding with inside the container. The outside container moves it around. Pretty good, liking all of this. I did use a template, so it should all fairly flow. This is a new one we're launching shortly. Big and bold, working with ClickFunnels as well. So I'm really enjoying everything that we're doing. This has been centralized. So this is all looking pretty good. It's because of the amount of words that the button is getting bigger. I'd have to play around with the text inside that. You can probably get in there and have a look at that and make it a little bit smaller. Might make it not quite such a, but then the text is getting pretty small. So again, it's a little bit of playing around and having a look at what you want to do. So we'll save that. So that sort of gives you that. If we then publish that and go and have a look at what it looks like, the URL up here. So let's go www.milesbetterdigital.com / there. All right, so now the URL has appeared. Am I back? Wait till I'm back. Hi, back again. And now we know that, I know, for example, my second page is Rocket. So I can jump ahead and have a look. And there we go. So it's appearing as there. URL on some devices, there's issues with every website. Safari doesn't always like things, URLs, etc. But if it's there, it'll work. All right. So the last thing then really is MailChimp. All right. Now, MailChimp, I am also having some challenges with on MailChimp. So I'm going to show you the way that I have beaten the MailChimp issue is that here, if I launch this, let's go back over to here and I want to go to Let's Talk. All right, now this is my email details. All right, you could have it landing on this page. I have chosen to use a pop-up version where it will take it to another, basically a nice clean page so that it doesn't mess too much on this page. So as it says, find out more details in your email, click on the sign up to Mission Control. When you click this button, it's going to take me off to a nice clean digital sign up from MailChimp. This is using a URL link. So let me come back here and show you how that works. So if you go back again, if you go here and look at the configure, I have simply used the URL that MailChimp has given me inside the form setup within MailChimp. So therefore, when you go to your mail form builder and embedding codes, etc., it will create this URL. And again, then I've just linked this nice button and off it goes. It then comes here. And I think what I did then, let me just check. Let's do Collin. No, we better use one of the others. Let's use Mastermind. It doesn't really matter what I use. Depends on where it's going to go as to whether it's on the list. Which one have I just created? TR Brown at milesbetter.eu. Tom Brown. 864-354-3854. That's my telephone number. Right, let's see what happens. Subscribe. Just wants me to confirm I'm a bot, not a thing. Subscribe, and it's already been used. I've already used that one. All right, let's try this one. Let's see if this will let me in. Steve Sparks. 864-354-3854. Let's see if that one's going to let me in. Sorry about that, guys. I've got so many tests going on. Didn't fail. There we go. All right, subscribe, continue to our website, and where have I sent that? Now that's then sent that back to the page I want to go to. Now she could use that button if she wanted to create the link. I'm not going to do another little video on MailChimp, but if she goes into MailChimp, she could have it as a set as a redirect, which is what I do with all of my others, and it's called a redirect to the landing page. If she's been using ClickFunnels, she should know how to do MailChimp because they use MailChimp as well. I hope that's helped, Tasha. It's a little bit long-winded. It was probably easier to do that. It also gives me a bit of an asset that I can then put up on my own GrooveFunnels page. I'm going to do that when we finish here. So if she would like to have another look at it, go to, obviously, Miles Better GrooveFunnel Party. And I hope that helps, Tash. Thanks very much indeed. Speak soon.